Resin. It's called Let's Resin. In the past I used art resin, but I found that it yellowed over time. So this one's got a pretty good rating for staying nice and crystal clear. So here's my cups. I don't have ones with the measurements on them, so what I'm going to do is kind of eyeball it. And I'm going to mark my cup like there. So they got little stripes on here. So I can just line them up. I think that's right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we want to put it to this line here. That will be, I don't know, it's kind of Mickey Mouse, isn't it? Yeah, you can get cups that have ounce marks on them. I just ran out of them. All right, so we're going to put our resin in one. Let's see. And you have to pull the top off. Do not mix up your tops, otherwise you will never get it off. All right, we'll start with this, and I'm going to fill it to the line. Here we go. Oh. Clean up. You do your cleanup with alcohol. Baby wipes are great. So what I'm going to do is just kind of clean this off and then put the cap back on. Put its little insert back in, and then let's wipe it off again. I have learned the hard way on this one. Okay, now for part 2, the epoxy resin, part A, and it says right on it, ratio 1:1. So we're going to take this, same process, take this top thingy out, and we're going to pour it to our line that we marked. Now I have used other resins, and I found that part, I forget whether it was part A or B, is always much thicker. This stuff is different, but it did have good reviews. And this, like I said, this is the first time I've used it, and I actually bought it to make jewelry. There we go. And I'm going to wipe it again. Just keep it all nice and clean, and then you won't be getting in trouble. All right, we'll put those away. Now, here's the tricky part. Make sure they're even. Yep. Now it's always good to make sure you measure your resin, because if you don't get the right amount of resin, if one is more than the other, it will not cure properly and you will have a slimy piece. I have learned that the hard way too. So that's why I'm looking here. Oh no, it looks like I poured a little bit more of B here. Darn it. Okay, well, it's very slight. I think I'll pour a bit more. Now, all right, we're going to just pour it in, and then we'll mix it. I've got a lot of resin here. You want to mix it up really good. I'm going to pour it back into this one here. Now I have plastic on my table to protect it. Any mishaps. And I actually have 2 layers of plastic. I have the one that's on my table all the time, and then I have an extra sheet here, and it's taped down. As you can see, it's taped down. All right, so you mix for about 2 minutes. Go slow. Don't use a mixer. If you use a mixer, you'll get a lot of bubbles. So we're just gonna mix. I'll probably speed the video up here so that you don't have to watch me for 2 minutes. Okay, clean up the mess. And I use these tongue depressors, or they're called popsicle sticks is the other one you can use. They work great. Make sure you scrape your sides. Okay, I forgot to say you need to wear gloves. I can only find one glove here, but quite often I don't wear gloves because I have done this a lot and I like to be able to feel what I'm doing. Can't talk and demonstrate at the same time here, just make messes. So the bubbles are not too bad in this. I'm going to just stir it for about another minute. Okay, it says to let the resin sit for 5 minutes after I finish stirring. So I'm just going to give it a last scrape around. And it says you know it's good after 5 minutes sit. And so what I'm going to do is talk to you about the other tools you're going to need. Well, hopefully that's going to work. Is it working? Yes. All right, now we're going to start. Oh boy, I haven't got this one. All right, I have 2 cameras going here, and what I'm going to do is pour with this hand. Now this is very liquidy, and like I say, resins that I've worked with before have been much thicker. So let's see how this goes. I'm going to just kind of spread it around a little bit with my tongue depressor, and it looks really good. It doesn't have bubbles in it, which is awesome, because if you don't have bubbles, then you don't have to have so much heat on it with the torch afterwards. All right, so we're just gonna put this here, spread it around. I might have to do, I probably will have to do 2 layers on this. So we'll see how it sets up. Uh-oh, we got a fruit fly floating around, darn it. I'm out here in my garage. Oh, you see this thing? Oh, it's going to get caught in my resin. Be vigilant. If something gets stuck in your resin, take it out right away. I did my kitchen countertops and I didn't pay attention, and I had a fly stuck in it the next day, so I had to gouge it out and sand it. This is not good. And come back to it the next day. I'm going to switch these out. This one needs some work in the tape department. Now this one here, been having trouble with the bits, the design on there. I think I'll just let it flow for a minute. Let's see how that goes. We'll spread it around. And let it just kind of fall over the edges. This one looks gorgeous. And just kind of smooth it around a little bit. The stick is working perfect, but I guess if you're working on a bigger piece, then something like this would work better. But this is working really good right now. I'm getting it right up to my edges, and I think I mixed up way too much resin, but I have a project that I'm going to toss it on to see how it works out anyway, so that's okay. You know, when you mix resin and you have a bunch left over, you run around afterwards looking for things that you can put it on, because you don't want to waste it. This stuff is so expensive. This resin that I got wasn't too bad, actually. All right, I'm using the stick, and because my piece is my largest piece here, I think is 5 by 5, and so I'm not needing a whole lot of resin. It's always best to mix up more than you need than not enough. Okay. So I've already got it dripping down the sides here. Let's take a look at this one. Stuff's pretty drippy. Okay, so now I need to retape this one. I'm not thrilled with my tape on one side. It keeps peeling. So, let's take this off. I don't know why it won't stick properly. Crappy tape maybe. So sometimes, you know, when you're doing something, something happens to make you have to do something else and detour, or what they say on YouTube, pivot. So I'm pivoting. I don't like that so much. Okay. Getting it exactly even with the top, so there's no space. There we go. All right, as we're standing here, I can see bubbles in my pieces. And when you hit them with a torch, what happens is it heats up the resin and it makes it move faster. So be careful. All right. And I'm going to check, make sure it's level. There we go. We are level. And okay. Let's get the resin on this one, then I can hit them all with the torch. Right. Blow this down. It's always cool to see this. Let's get up close and personal here. Alrighty. Okay, I'm going to add a little more. Isn't that fun? It's moving. You can see it moving. I'm just making a mess here. Like watching paint dry, but more fun. Okay, put this back over here. Alright, I need to pour a bit more on the big one, and then we'll go in and hit them with the torch. Hopefully the torch will work. I tested it the other day, so we'll see. And I'm still just kind of using my stick, and I'm moving it around with the stick too. And apparently this resin's got good UV protection in it too. I watched some reviews on different types of resins, And this one said it had good UV protection, and this is really important because otherwise your resin will turn yellow, and trust me, you don't want that. I sell my works in a gallery in Lincoln City, and I just sold one of my resin pieces last week, so you don't want it to fade. Gosh, they look so pretty, you guys. Let's see, there's my torch. And I don't like these torches at all. They suck. So you just kind of hit it. You don't want to sit in one spot for too long. Just kind of wiggle it around. I'll just go over this one. Can't see the darn flame there. I can hear it. All right, and you get up close and look at your piece. I still see some bubbles here. I see some bubbles there. So let's hit those. Getting a little close. All right, and now I'm going to do the big one here. Get all those bubbles. Make sure you get them out. I'm not going in super close. I'm about 3 or 4 inches above. And so we'll just kind of keep an eye on that for a little bit. Now, I'm going to go back and scrape your sides. Clean up your sides so you don't have so much hanging off the edges. Cleaning up any excess, and apparently this stuff hardens pretty fast, so we'll see. Okay. I am going to hit it again with the torch. I can see some bubbles. I see a little bubble here, and sometimes your bubble will come up after the fact, like one just popped there all by itself. Sometimes they come up and you can go in with a toothpick and pop them. You don't want to hang around one spot more than like a second. You could burn and or light your resin on fire. And we don't want to do that. Okay. I'm just checking here. All right. Okay. We got it. Boy, they look good, guys. They look really good. All right, I'll bring you in for a close-up here. Look at this. This is so pretty. Ooh, nice. And then there's this one. The one we had to put the fresh tape on. And then there's this one. Okay. You can see it dripping. See, it's all dripping down the sides. And it sure looks good. I got a lot of reflection from the window. Okay, well, now it's a waiting game. And they have to dry. They will dry overnight. And in the meantime, what we'll do is move this over a little bit. I got a ton of resin all over the table here. And I have this really cleaned out box. to stop the dust and the fruit flies from getting in there. Make sure you don't have any resin here. Let's see, I think I better clean it. Oops, there might be some resin. Get some alcohol on a paper towel, or you can use your baby wipes. And I'm going to clean up the resin. Okay, because we don't want it getting stuck. There we go. I have different torches at my other studio. Okay, I think these look pretty good, guys. Now we're going to try to do this again. I'm going to put this top down, cover it, and we'll come back and check it in a couple hours, I guess. Okay, here's what I did with the excess resin I had, and I put it on here, and I want to add more to it another day, but for now it's got a shimmer. It's really pretty. And then here's our resin pieces inside the box. Let's take a peek. Oh, they look so gorgeous. Look at this. Oh my gosh. They're just beautiful. Okay, I might see some